everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today we're going to build and review the LEGO Ideas pop-up book. This is recommended for ages 12 and up. It is set number 21315, and from the outside of the box, I'm already liking the way this set looks quite a lot. So let's get this thing open. Can I have the box cutter? Don't tell me you don't have it. Oh, it doesn't need it. It's just a...
Haha!
Ooh, that's a new printed piece. All right, so the set looks to have 6 different numbered bags. Some of them are pretty darn big, while other ones are very, very small, but there's no repeated numbers. We get 2 gigantic brick pieces here. These are, what, 16 by 8s, I think. They are both tiles, and this has the new custom print. You'll get a closer look of that in the future. The inside of the manual has a lot of the same stuff that we're used to seeing. There's a little bit about the original designers. This was kind of a pair project, Jason from JK Brickworks and Grant. And then, yeah, there's a little bit about the designers and some of the fairy tales that are being featured in this Storytime pop-up book. So anyways, without further ado, let's get the build started. I'll see you in a few hours. Once upon a time, there were 2 LEGO designers named Jason and Grant. They submitted their great idea to LEGO Ideas, and now we have this wonderful Ideas pop-up book set. Let me just say that it is 859 pieces, and it sells for $69.99 US dollars or pounds, and $59.99 euro. So those are just the last bits of information that I maybe didn't include in the beginning, and now I'm gonna start with the minifigs because they're awesome. There are 4 minifigs in total, and they are meant to represent the 2 different fairy tale stories. So we have 3 from Little Red Riding Hood, being the grandma, the wolf, and of course Little Red Riding Hood. And we also have 1 fig and 1 micro fig for Jack and the Beanstalk. So Jack is the really, really small one, and we've got the giant, who's just the normal size minifig. So anyways, let's jump into Little Red Riding Hood. I like that story a little bit better. She has got a lot of excellent parts that make up her character. First of all, the skirt piece that is molded in that nice medium azure looks amazing with that little bit of detailing that goes along the edge. She's got a relatively simple print that makes up her blouse, or I don't know what you call that. Whatever she's wearing there, but you can see the little red tie that goes around, that wraps around for that hood that she wears. That mold for her head is Lloyd's hair hoodie mold that we had normally in dark green and blonde, or dark green and gray. So that has been a new recoloring, and I have a feeling it's probably just going to remain exclusive to red. I have a feeling also her face print is exclusive. It looks really, really similar to other child prints, but I think there's just a little bit of something extra there. She also comes with a basket that's got a couple of cookies in there, meant for Grandma. Grandma is up next. She has some pretty basic printing. She's probably the most simple of any of the minifigs from this set. I don't believe her face print is exclusive, or the hair mold or anything like that. She's just a pretty standard looking old lady in a nightgown with what I would say is maybe an above average print that makes up that torso detailing. Now, as for the wolf, we couldn't have asked for a better looking wolf minifigure, in my opinion. This is her, or him, in Grandma's gown. So he's wearing the exact same gown as before, except it's completely torn and thrashed up, so you have leg printing now that adds to that detailing, and it just looks good from all angles. And we've gotten this wolf head mold before, I believe, from the Monsters collectible figure thing that came out, you know, that collection that came out maybe a couple years ago, except it has special printing that makes up the glasses for Grandma's face, as well as some of the lipstick. So you really could not have asked for a better wolf, in my opinion. He's absolutely going to remain my favorite figure from this set, hands down. And then let's look at the last minifig. This is the Giant. You can see the shoulder detailing, or that strap that goes along his shoulder. He's actually got barrels that go along his shoulder, because remember, he is a giant, so it looks like he's stolen some barrels from regular sized people and attached them there. He's got the little goose or the duck in his pocket. Sorry, I think that, oh wait, that's the goose with the golden egg. Yeah, you can see the pouch on his belt too with the golden egg there. I just figured that out right now. On the back of him, there's some skulls too, some minifigure skulls that are really tiny. It's just a fun detail. I really do like the look of the Giant. And then for the microfig, you actually get two, because that's usually how these kinds of sets go. Jack, there are two Jacks because he's such a small piece. And of course, there's no printing on the back of his body, which is pretty standard for a microfigure like this. And he's got actually quite a bit of detailing that goes along the front. You can see that he's wearing shorts. There's some detailing even for the pockets and stuff. He's got suspenders, another shirt there, and what looks like dirty blonde hair. So Jack is actually a really complete looking micro figure, and altogether I'm really glad that we got so many awesome characters with this Ideas set. Now let's actually look at the set, because this thing really does look amazing. So the book itself had its color changed to a nice dark forest green, which I think is a much better improvement compared to the tan book that we got from the original Ideas design. And it's been laden with these brown tiles all around the edges. I think this is the first time we get these brown 4x4 tiles in each of the corners, which is great. And then this is probably one of the biggest and one of the best looking prints that I have seen for any Lego set. Once Upon a Brick is really big. It's in this nice tan with these little bits of gold highlighting that come in the middle of the larger letters, and then you get a lot of gold embroidery all around the top. These are also 1x6 tiles, also individual prints of the last names. That's Jason and Grant Davis, respectively, the two designers that originally submitted the design. Looks amazing. It's awesome that these guys got their last names printed as official Lego pieces. That is really cool. I would be super stoked if I was those guys. And yeah, really, really amazing looking detailing on the outside. Even from here, the spine looks pretty darn good. You could even add some different detailing if you really wanted, but this looks great. Is like you could fit this into a bookshelf and have a feeling, you know, people wouldn't notice it immediately, I don't think. And then this is really where it gets fun. You get to open the pop-up book, and it feels so good. I can't describe to you the fluidity and how awesome it feels just opening and closing it. If you had your eyes closed and you were just opening and closing this book, you wouldn't be able to feel any sort of like little mechanical bumps or any little pieces catching or anything like that. It is as smooth as butter. I really, really like that function, and it works for both the Little Red Riding Hood scene as well as Jack and the Beanstalk, which I'm going to switch out in a second. But let's now take a closer look at the scene. So here we have the front of Grandma's cottage. Some nice hay roof detailing here at the top. It's a difference between sort of the standard yellow and that kind of deeper yellow, like the build for the chimney. And it's just some fun little flower details. It's actually quite a simple build, and that's sort of the point, I feel like, with this kind of set that we're messing around with. Oops, I dropped her cookie, but let me just show you guys. There's also just a little bit of detailing around here too to make up some land, some trees, some rocks or something like that. Just some plant detailing that kind of fleshes the area out a little bit more. And here we have the wolf on the inside, and you can have Little Red Riding Hood coming up to the front door, hoping to find Grandma to visit and bring some treats, but instead, of course, that's not the case. Now you can also switch over to the sort of the next scene. Let me see if I can just, yes. And it flips around, and here we've got the interior. So I really like that now you've got the fire from the chimney, which makes perfect sense when you think about it. Of course, you'd have it built in there, but it actually builds out a bit more of the interior of the scene, which I like a lot. So you can have Little Red Riding Hood over here. There's some tea. There's a little tea kettle and whatever. Or you can even put, actually I like this, you can put the wolf into the bed, which is great. If you just pull the arms up a little bit, the wolf fits in the bed, which is great. And these are all little modular, oops, broke the little back part off, but these are all little modular chunks. So you can actually just take it out. Because remember, you're supposed to be able to switch all of this over. So there's the wolf in the bed. I like this design. I wonder if Lego's gonna go for this design maybe for future sets, city sets, or maybe other creator sets or something. I like the fact that you can fit a minifigure in a bed. And then of course this can also come up if you like. I really like just having the wolf and Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma, you can put her in the scenes, but I feel like she's only really around once the hunter comes by towards the end, so still really, really fun. And now, let me show you guys the second section, but before that, let me show you how this whole thing comes apart. So first things first, you're gonna wanna take out all of the modular chunks like I was just showing you. So there goes one piece, and bye-bye wolf, there goes two pieces, and then this is really where it gets interesting. You have this one little pin here, this one little Technic pin here, and you can just pull it out. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. And this is what the book looks like. If I can maybe zoom this out, I can't, but if I can pick it up, zoom out. This is the empty book. So, you know, you could hide things in here if you really didn't want to have either of the scenes in there. But let me show you now how this thing comes together with Jack and the Beanstalk. So we've got these pieces here, and let me just show you. This is, I think, 12 studs long by 12 studs long, and then you've got this little bit of extra build that kind of, you know, this is the identical bit of building at the bottom that makes up that plate, and it's going to allow you to fit any kind of scene on top of this. You can just use this little bit of building. It's so simple, honestly. It really is. So this bit of gray, let me just move it back down to show you guys. These little bits of gray and red here, these little Technic areas, they're going to be the pieces that fit into these little plates that are sticking out. And then the black pins are the pins that stick into the little pinholes. And that was it. I just did it. So there it is. Now there's another little chunk in here for the Jack and the Beanstalk. And now this is the coolest part. I actually saved the coolest part of the entire set to this piece here, and you get to see me build it, and then I'm going to open it and close it. So there's a little clip at the bottom. It's going to clip into this little piece right there, if I can do it right. Yes. And then this is going to pin itself. There's a little hole there, and there's a little thing there, and I don't even know if you guys saw what I just did. Let me turn this up so you can actually see what that function looks like. It's really cool. So you've got yourself the thing, and then boom! Awesome. So these are the clouds. This is the little tiny micro village, because remember, Jack is the micro figure in this scene. This is a little windmill. I'll change the light in just a second, but that's so cool. And like I said in the beginning or earlier, the smoothness, the buttery feel of this thing opening and closing, it doesn't change at all. You can't even feel that extra tension when this thing starts to come down. The book weighs enough, the Lego bricks in the book weigh enough to where you can't even feel that. It really just does feel perfectly smooth and buttery. It's awesome. Let me get a better angle so you can see the clouds a little better. Here you've got Jack, and he can you can have him down here by, I think this would be Jack's house, right? Because it's at the base of the beanstalk, but you can put him wherever you want in the backdrop, and you can put the giant up here or wherever. You can put anybody anywhere that you like, but it is kind of a fun little scene that you get to play out here. And there is just that awesome, can't close it with the giant in there. In the back too, there are holes. Let me just move the camera. There are more holes. There's 4 along here, and then there's also 4 along the other side. So you can set up different kinds of pop-up functions for your own creative designs in the future. And that is a huge portion of what this set is really supposed to be. You do get Jack and the Beanstalk, you get Little Red Riding Hood, but you can set up any kinds of scenes and scenarios. I know during the ideas process, when this thing was still going through the voting, and probably still during the approval process, people were submitting alternate kinds of stories and alternate kinds of pop-up functions. And I think that's part of the reason why this thing got approved, because people got super excited about the creativity and the modularity that this kind of set inspires. So let me just show everything all together. In conclusion, I would say this is an amazing ideas set The concept is awesome. It inspires a huge amount of creativity. The actual quality of the build for the book and the folding out function is amazing. It's super fluid. Everything feels really solid and strong. We got some really great, unique minifigures. We now actually have an official wolf, an official Red Riding Hood and grandma and everything. The giant's actually really fun with those little minifigure skull prints on the back of them. So yeah, I'm happy with the figs that we got. I'm happy with the builds that we got, and the book looks great. I think the price point is good, and this is a really solid ideas set. I would love to know what you guys think about this set in the comment section below, but I would especially like to know, what would you do as an alternate build to make your own storybook, to make anything? It doesn't even have to be a fairy tale. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to have any parameters aside from the fact that it should be able to fold open and close, because that's kind of the cool factor about this set for sure. All right, that is it for this episode, everybody, and I'll be popping back on the screen in 1 second with a red sweatshirt. Hey everybody, wanted to pop in really quick, let you guys know that we've got a LEGO web store, www.brickvault.toys, where we sell the PDF step-by-step instructions for some incredibly awesome LEGO blocks. It's definitely worth checking out. The revenue from the web store helps support us here at the channel, as well as the designers that create these amazing LEGO builds. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Remember, that's www.brickvault.toys, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.